Alright, let's begin. So first I want to do a bit of debugging because you mentioned about how we need to cover the splitting. So I have a bit of an idle state so the centipede doesn't move, and I can just shoot at it a few times while I'm going through some of these edge cases. I also wanted to bring up the issue that you had with my with my alarms. I got rid of all the hard-coded numbers so that now they are all created in a variable so that we can update them in the CPP file when needed. Okay, other than that, let's begin. So for this week, we had to do the score manager, player manager, and poison condition of the centipede. So it has a poison state. So I see when I shoot the spider, I get different point values based on distance. Whenever a centipede comes in contact with a poison mushroom, it will start falling downwards until it reaches the bottom, at which point it moves normally. If I were to destroy the blaster, then the player manager will detach it from the player and reattach it to the second one. So now player 2 gets to play and score some points. And if I were to close this, we can see that we passed the test. And we also have two different score values, with this third one being for the AI, which isn't playing right now, so it gets no points. For the code, we have the different parameters for points and how you can achieve them. All the command score values are created here. And we have a singleton for the score manager, as well as some getters and setters so that we can use it for the distance. So here we have attaching the command scores, as well as the getters and the destruction of everything and the terminate. So command score by distance, it will receive the blaster's height when the bullet was fired, as well as the spider's height from when it was destroyed. And then after some subtraction, the distance will determine how many points to give the player. For the player manager, we have the AI player as well as player 1 and player 2. We also have the blaster here so that it can help reattach it to the player when we're swapping. We have the total player number here, as well as one player, single player, and two player. So single player, two player creates the total player number, and then whenever the blaster is destroyed, it will call this reset function. So this will have a delay to respawn it, and it will also tell the player manager to swap the player. So if there is one player, nothing really happens. But if there are two players, then we will swap the current player and activate the blaster for that player specifically. In the player functions, we have functions to attach and detach the blaster, as well as a function to keep track of the score. If the blaster is currently attached to the player, then every frame we will update its score. So if the blaster is attached to player 1, player 2's score won't update, and vice versa. For the centipede, we have poison state left and poison state right. These will have the centipede constantly rotating down till it reaches the bottom, at which case it will move normally. And for all the other move states, we add in an extra conditional to check to see if the incoming mushroom is a poison one. And that's it.